It's official, friends. We have a series on our hand. MXS, that was a fantastic run to be bringing it back over on Split and take us to a map 3 between these two teams. Uber, I think you said it was an El Clasico, something that we might see quite a bit during the split, and I hope so. This has been awesome so far.
I mean, we got it served up to us multiple times in the offseason. It was always the kind of match where you really couldn't pick an outright winner. The big deal here is that not only, I think, Wyatt brought this up, MXS have been improving on this map, but haven't really won it sort of in recency against Oxygen. So that's a great sign. Not only they improved, they managed to turn that into a dub, make this series just a little bit more interesting. And boy, some individual moments, fantastic. And again, Wyatt pointed out the macro play was really crisp here on Split.
Significantly better than on Lotus. That was definitely the most impressive part of it all for me. And taking it individually as well to the guys who were a little bit more silent on Lotus, stepped up massively on this map. Mata was going crazy. Tough Lotus, insane on Split. And Vic, who didn't have a poor performance on Lotus or anything like that by any means, but he just really came into his own anchoring on moments like you're seeing right here, locking down that A site, playing around his utility, finding nice timings to swing, and then, yeah, just this round following that pistol 3K was way too crispy. So two players seriously stepping it up for the team, but overall their attack side was just way more decisive and coherent than it was on Lotus. You could see the plans they were going for and they executed them well, whereas on Lotus it felt very haphazard and like they were questioning themselves.
Also just the teamwork amongst this. I mean, I feel like you could talk about any player in a different point, but Brock's someone as well who's really just setting the team up for success over and over. And I love how they're looking so far. And as we're pulling up some of the stats too, a trend that we got to see in the first game, Uber, was Oxygen. They had first because they were doing so great. They were able to bounce back from things. But this time, especially with the Mata step up, Moist Shopify really putting that number up.
Absolutely. Important to point out as well, Oxygen only take the 150 round, and in a match where you don't win either pistol, it's going to be very hard to come back from in general. Redux still had some great moments here, really competitive, especially up against Mata, and combining with Dapper pretty well towards mid. That was definitely like a focal point on this map on both sides, right? A couple of times, like they sort of read that MXS give up mid, or they tended to sort of give a lot of space there. They were able to exploit that to some degree, but I also got punished once or twice by it. And look, and we didn't really talk about the skies very much on that particular map, right? But Vic looks so good. Brock sets up a huge amount of those kills. At one point, yeah, Brock's only got 1 kill. He's like 10 assists, setting up the Cypher and really making it very hard to break that anchoring duo on A, which means that they can give up heaven on A. And they did multiple times on defense, able to come back in for a retake because the presence on the site was really hard to shift.
Vic just had such a series. I mean, we got to see MVP going on in that, and as you said, someone who wasn't at the first series, but someone that we didn't necessarily talk too much about headed into this series. So much focus everywhere. There's so many people to talk about, but looking at Vic, I mean, there were so many different 2Ks, 3Ks that were so instrumental. It seems only fair to highlight him after that map.
Yeah, absolutely. He also, you saw it on the previous graphic, but he had 5 first kills, and that was to 0 first deaths, and 4 of those were on defense, which again is just a testament to how good he was at anchoring, that when his site was being hit, he was constantly able to get that first kill, and the majority of the time was also surviving after that, or at least buying enough time for his teammates to come in and help. Vic is very flexible as well. He's played a number of agents for this team. He really has a lot to offer as a player to this Moist team. Certainly an unsung hero in my mind.
And again, we talk about MXS winning all these pistols. Well, Vic has to clutch one of them in a 1 versus 3 in order for that to happen. It's not as if they're just, rolling over the top of Oxygen, winning all the pistols and then converting those later on. They have to fight tooth and nail for them. Vic ends the map with 4 3Ks. Which is more than anybody else. Like, that is genuinely significant. Especially on a map like Split, where sometimes like you are swinging into double covered angles, crossfires, or double swings from your opponents. So he's really on fire. He's very proactive. That's something we saw a lot on Lotus, like a lot of TPing forward, a lot of trying to get an edge, find a decent position to play from, and also to mess with timings. Sometimes he just yeah, there's that one round Wyatt where he just ran straight through the A site into screens and had a decent line set up. Unfortunately, didn't pay off because the rotate was fast. But this guy is really thinking outside the box, and it makes it very, very hard for Oxygen to get a read on exactly where he's going to be at any given moment. Even on Cypher, something that's less mobile and more likely to plant his feet and anchor his sight.
And I'm curious now with where this is going to go on in the series for map 3, because looking at this, MXS, I mean, they've been leveling up. When you're looking at the split that they played, it's just gotten a little better, a little better, a little better. Oxygen Esports is this quantity that has been ahead in the series, and they have taken down MXS the last 2 times that they've played Bind. But I mean, this is a team that after this 5 months together, they're looking so good. So Wyatt, I'm just so curious with how they've been playing in this series, with where this advantage will be taken on this final map.
So I was thinking the same thing. Again, like, well, they beat them the last 2 times on Bind, so surely it leans Oxygen
Not
favorite.
again.
Literally the same thing on Split. So at this point, it's a different roster. Both teams are looking really good. I don't know. You asked me for a prediction? I don't know. I'm stuck. Mitch, do you have a strong prediction? Do you have a strong feeling one way or another?
I do like the last time they played on this map was like a little too long ago to like really use that. But I love the transitive property, and I also love making up predictions. So I do think Oxygen can win this game. Their attack side on Bind is super good. They bring the Gecko in, obviously combine that really effectively. And instead of the Breach, right? There's a ton of stuff you can do on that attack side, like the Gecko Molly just outside of, U-Haul to make it harder for the defenders to get out of there once you pressure that down, obviously with your Viper Wall. This map to me is all about how effectively you fight for back A side. It's a huge part of it. And a lot of that rests on the Razor's ability to be supported and to make sure you scale up and clear that part of the map. So I'm really excited. I don't think either of these teams really prefer Yoru. They really do lean on their Raze play once more, which is something that, Mada should be in a great position to deliver on.
I'm okay with the Raze gameplay. We've seen some fantastic stuff coming out from Redux and from Mada here, but it's time to head into our Agent Select with our map 3 ahead of us. So have fun, you two. I'll catch you on the other side.
Thank you very much, Sierra. Yeah, Bind, of course, a great way to sort of cap this series off, and it is going to be Gecko for both sides this time. So that's an adaptation that MXS have picked up in recency, and it's going to give us these mirrored compositions.
Dropping previously the Breach into the Gecko, which is far more favored in the current meta. Not a whole lot of Breach being played here. Gecko, very much so. One of the strong agents on this map. We've been seeing it a lot at Madrid and throughout all of those partnership qualifiers as well. They're going to have another run back on this Raze head-to-head between 2 of clearly the top few duelists that are in the Challengers League. Both these players have put up phenomenal performances so far.
One thing I'm looking for on these like attacking rounds, right? These comps are very well set up to play the post plant, right? You really just take A short control. You can get a wingman plant, and you can opt to not even play for the back of the site, smoke it out and have a brimstone set up. Or, as we see more commonly, that really aggressive play, especially teams that bring Harbor in, where you flash through that Harbor wall and get that back of A site control going. But again, in the former case, when we're going to see that play for post plant, the defenders on B, really, taking the risks and getting information and maybe scaling up off that site and, trying to sort of pincer the map a little bit more might be crucial. It's something we've noticed that Oxygen don't tend to do very often. And obviously on Split, because both teams are on Astra, they're not pushing off that B site. They're not getting involved in any of those first kill, first death engagements at all. So we might see a pace change from that here heading into Bind.
With no Sentinel on either side, that certainly may be the case. Those aggressive pushes down on defense, exposing holes in the attacking side. If they're not being, if they don't have that presence of mind at certain moments to be watching for someone walking down out of hookah and flanking them through market while they're going for an A exec, those are moments that we could certainly be seeing. But it looks like off the jump, Oxygen are going to be headed towards that B site. We are going to have the exchange, of Sky flashes over on the long side, and interesting little Molly lineup. It looks like it's going to land in hookah, clear out the corner there, or I believe.
Yeah.
Probably is that going all the way to? Listen. Don't ask me. Oh, this is quite nice.
Okay. Flashes exchanged here early in the round. Dizzy getting some value, and Redux is already deep on the site, but Broken Martyr elsewhere. Find it. Dapper here has to face Marta, not expecting that angle challenge, but the spike is out in the open, and it's just Scuba have to ascend to the greatest of depths to come out with a W here. We'll settle for an orb for now and think of a different axis upon which to try and unravel this problem.
Quite the problem indeed. This is going to be
a conundrum.
Somewhat difficult. Mata and Vic just backing up. Do you think Scuba's going to get them their first pistol round win?
Absolutely bloody
Nope.
not.
And good call.
That's 5 out of 6. For those keeping track at home, quick maths. And MXS pleased about that one there. The fighting does get hot and heavy, and Redux does get pretty deep onto the site, but only able to come out with one is, again, that dizzy blind is going to be very, very important as these executes come in. You will see the defenders be more than happy to unleash some of that initiated util to try and even the score. And this, what did they set up here for, like a little, aggressive face down A short here. Deny any cheeky wingman plant.
Yeah, this nice little position up top. I'm going to try and walk up off the Viper wall. That Brimstone Smoke's left a little bit of an intended gap. For Verno to cross, shoulders spotted, but Mata unable to capitalize off that. So much damage through though, regardless.
Yeah, already though, they're out showers, they get shut down straight away. Oxygen cannot get anything done. They bury the lead a little bit there and actually lean much heavier on the shower side of that push. Well, they come up with very, very little. Pretty clean anti-eco here for MXS. And again, some free spam through the smoke there for Mata. 6-2 after 2.
And it is a start we are oh so used to seeing in this series. The 2-0 for Moist Shopify right at the beginning. A team with a lot of question marks coming into this series around their off-season decision to bring Odorous in as a starting player. Was their coach last year, replacing Thief at really the last second, had played all their off-season tournaments with Thief. And a lot of question marks around why that was done. Will Odorous be good enough to compete after not having really played for a year? And so far, he's rose to the occasion.
Little aggressive pop there for MXS into showers. They're going to leave Vic behind. Again, that's a crucial part of the map to fight for if you're worried about those free Gecko plants, but much of the focus here for Oxygen. On the B side, Flya spots Redux, who take a quick trip through the TP. And interestingly, Vic actually opts to cede control of showers. This will still be slow going, though, for Redux as he comes through that TP.
Those Oxygen players have reconvened now. They're going to re-clear sand just close up and make sure that no one has walked down. They just want to know that Shopify hasn't pushed down there, gotten all that information, and are going to be stacking up towards A without a doubt, right? So after getting that info, now they're going to walk back and go for this execute.
Run, little man.
Here comes that util. This is the pinch from showers now behind this sky flash. Dizzy also thrown up, going to find Mitch, who just walks straight into that. Okay, paint shells getting some value there for Mata.
Spike planted.
Rourke hoping to get some value on this bonus. Maybe get himself a gun, and so he has. A Bulldog to hand now. Spike down, of course, and the post-plant positions assumed here for Oxygen. No flank pressure, no showers control for MXS. They're going to have to figure it out another way.
Early Molly sent
Very.
in. Provides a long delay.
Mosh pit to slow him up.
Yeah, that's just going to be a bit of further delay. The mosh pit not as long, and they can get on it.
Anything else?
That tap is going to force the swings, and the duels are won.
Now Oxygen happy to fight for it in the end. Dapper and Verno doubled up here. Rourke only good for the one as Verno takes 3 in the round. And there it is. Showers control, A short control into a lightly held site. The wingman plant, and the mollies come flying in.
That is one of the benefits of this composition, clearly on display there. The cycling of utility that can just deny people to defuse, right? You have mollies, nades, all of that, and you can just cycle one after the other. Typically, you see that Brimstone molly come in last or quite late, right? But listen, you have the Viper molly, you have the Gecko molly, you can just fire them off in any order you want. Retaking under those conditions just so difficult.
Yeah, this is why the defenders have to fight in positions like this. They've double stacked on top of the U-haul here. Mata. Okay, another missed rocket, but still going to follow it up with the headshot. Verno will challenge though and find the one. It's only 2 left for the attackers. The Showers is being cleared behind Mitch right now. Yeah, they're going to be on him like moss on a rock. And Brock finishes it with the Dirk.
Can't believe Vic was trying to get that spam kill. How that's crazy. You gotta let him get the kill with a knife if he's gonna use his ult into like 5v2 or whatever that was when he popped it. Come on, you gotta let him get that. That was well played from Mata. His movement is really quite nice, just weaving around with the satchels, playing up top there on truck and on the shed.
You can see just how much MXS are like priced into those early defensive pops. Pings to Showers here, so 4 players from Oxygen on this eco. Stack up and likely prioritize the orb, maybe for a Brimstone ult. Yes, it gives them some tools. They can either try and clear U-Haul with that, or obviously have it in the post plant. Very potent indeed. And of course, Wingman brought up by Verno like every other round. So they'll have that somewhat easy plant. They still have to deal with Marta sat on top of the truck.
Poison orb emitting.
And the last time these two teams faced off late in the series, in the grand finals, in the Ludwig Tarek Invitational, it was Oxygen that were just absolutely running away with the game. And at the moment, it's more Shopify. Turn the tables in that regard. Vic just carrying the momentum from the last map into this one. Oh my god. Of course, they're just anti-ecos. Listen, I don't want to get too crazy, but still.
It's nice.
If he got the ace, I would have gone crazy. Now, all right. Good job, Vic. All right, cool, man.
Again, I mean, at some point, Oxygen have to figure out how to trade up into that sort of truck position. There's almost always going to be a player posted up there to get above the util and to circumvent the Viper wall led by the attackers. Hold on, some discussion here. Who's going to get a bit of it? Brock, in fact. They build up another Thresh. Almost kind of superfluous in the last time we saw that. It was like used in the 4v1, I think, and just yielded a knife kill to Brock. This is great for MXS, though. Second gun round coming up here for Oxygen. They need to make something happen. Vic again. Yeah, give him his moment. He's still clubbing out here.
The economy is looking quite great for Moist Shopify here as well. Oxygen's struggling to get anything started. They're going to have a couple ults to play with in this one if they go for some, you know, big exec of some kind. You can, of course, have Redux satcheling in with the ultimate. And once you have that Brimstone ult online, just saving it to cycle with the Brim Molly in a post plant to deny the defuse is just... That is the bind classic.
Yeah, that A Viper will set up here and Dapper be big chillin'. Hoping for some aggression from Shower. It's a hot spot for defenders to try and get a foothold against the post plant style. Oxygen really taking their time with this. Still a minute to work with, and they're drifting now over towards A.
Got a good amount of utility out of Flya, this Sky exchange at B long, which is ever common on the map. Just the defensive Sky looking for information, the offensive Sky trying to either feign information or take it for real, and the execute is going to be in on A this time. Redux does pop that ult. Wingman coming through, almost gets the stun. Redux just doesn't know where to look. There's nothing coming in for backside, and that just allows the backside players to have open angles, open crossfires. The Brimstone ultimate is coming in super late. They can't actually get the spike down. It's on the ground on default because of the Wingman's unfortunate demise. Mata just swinging through with the crispiest aim. A great hold from Moist Shopify, but simply not a comprehensive hit from Oxygen.
That defensive Wingman was disgusting. Redux wants to scale into backside. He needs to get there with that showstopper. But again, who's going to win? A highly powered rocket from an absolutely rabid, agent, or one little guy that prevents Redux from penetrating to scale into the backside with that ultimate? You can't use it on a Wingman, of course, so you have to go elsewhere. And that completely shuts down that push for Oxygen. That is, the value there is just unreal. It's disgusting. And then, of course, yeah, we see the Brim on defense. That's why they were getting that extra orb. Vic knows he can just shut down that Wingman plant and they can stay safe. Oxygen, that's devastating.
Absolutely crushing the economy in dire straits, especially so because the Wingmen died mid-plant. They didn't get the plant money. They expended both of the ultimates that they had online. Mata and Vic are still on fire. This is tough going for the Oxygen side right now. The last 5 times these two teams have played, Oxygen came out on top 4 of them. So Moist Moguls, that little off-season move, bringing in Odorous, the changes they've made since then. Listen, it's looking like it's all coming to fruition. The doubts that people had in their minds over this team, the decision that they made, certainly coming to a close. Finally going to get a one-up on their rival. At least it seems that way.
We're talking about a Moist Moguls team, part of this MSX squad that almost made Ascension. They had to run up against M80 and at the time the Guard, right? And that's what they sort of fell away. But they really bounced back in that second half of the Challenger season. This time they're not taking any prisoners. What a beautiful way to start this campaign against one that's become a very familiar rival for them here in the Tier 2 scene. Here we go again, though. It's going to be presence towards A. Sky flash through the TP. Says no one is in the vicinity.
Hookah being controlled aggressively by Moist Shopify. Flya, of course, used that flash early down into B Fountain to try and get a ping. That Skybird sound, and it was mute. But regardless, they are retaining this space. Oh my god, what a shot from Verno that is, man. Nice little jiggle spots out Mata. The nade gonna come through. It's gonna force Mata out of the open, or it'll force him to just die, which is exactly what happens. That's a nice little clearing of Hookah. And now with a minute on the clock, Oxygen have shown that they have patience in these situations, that they don't feel the need to rush. And they're going to slow things down yet again.
This is so meticulous for Oxygen this time around. Yeah, far cry from what we saw from them in the previous rounds where it's all go in high gear and just getting caught out by a couple of contingencies they don't account for. And now, their prize. They walk right up onto the B site here. There's going to be a timing for Brock.
30 seconds left.
Mitch is going to see that. And this is going to let Redux get right into the back.
Flya, maybe a miracle. The one in position to do it, waiting for that TP. Vic going to come in to help. Has a molly. Could fire that back site. Flush the players out.
Running low on util, the attackers. A load of that Gecko util to work with. The late Dizzy could be back-breaking. It's not needed in the end. Escuba and Verno can take their duels. And Oxygen really off the back of such a clever 2-kill clear of Hookah. They knew what they were running into. Again, that's why they're light on util for the post plant, but that's fine. They got tons of value for it. And finally get one back.
Yeah, that was quite silly. That was very silly how they, dealt with Hookah there. But listen, not much for Mata to do when you're stuck in that situation. Do you satchel across and die to bullets, or do you try and jump in the air and not die to the nade? It's not the best situation to be in. This Thrash is going to be easy for clearing out Shower as the rest of the players from Oxygen go for this fast hit. Down short, flash for back sight. They're going to fight for the control this time, and they get it.
Yeah, Thrash also gives you control of Showers. This is big. This will allow Verno to come up and have a good angle. On fence, backside, very well populated by Oxygen right now. Seekers tells you everything you need to know about whether defenders are posted, although at this point you've eliminated all the other options anyway. And now it's a waiting game. MXS have no flank presence. They need to face coming out from heaven, and Flya and Mata have had a great start of this. There's now no presence left inside Showers. Redux sitting on a paint shell. You still have the post plant util to abuse. And Thrash is back in hands now. Verno sends it in. Not a whole lot to see. No detain. Molly on site. Redux is going to have to do a little bit more work though. Dizzy sees nothing. Mosh pit on the point. Gonna be Verno now to 1 versus 4. Who can't stop it? Brock sticks the defuse. And that's mental. Oxygen scales so deep into back A. They have site control. And they lose on the double faces from MXX, from heaven, from vents, everywhere.
Those moments of quality team fundamentals have been just abundant in this entire series from MXS. It's one thing that they have not really at any point shown weakness in. Really, really fantastic retake from them, clearing out all those positions effectively together, trading nicely.
That's a backbreaker for Oxygen just after they'd managed to get one back. So stopper here for Mata. And they are audacious on A short right now.
To poison's off.
Opting to lean away from showers for possibly that reason and embed Brock pretty deeply here towards heaven. Marta has the angle, but Mitch cannily able to sidestep that.
Some shower control taken from Oxygen, and they're just going to retreat. That dog is going to re-clear all of it, though. Giving good information to Moist Shopify. Now Oxygen thinking, oh, okay, whoops, we have to go back in the shower and show some presence again with a minute on the clock. Or they can just go for the exec, of course, because now the false info has been gained, which is
right
exactly what's going to happen. Just walk right back in. Oh, good timing. Thank you for the dog. Really appreciate that. And here's the exec.
Vic wants to slow this down, but it's not going to be quick enough. We're all going to get hit by the Trailblazer now. Sends a Dizzy out to cover him, but it's a flash that comes in. Everything in the kitchen sink being deployed to keep him in that spot. But Dapper gets to the back of the side and puts the Viper's pit down. No connection there on the rocket. Redux able to bring Marta down, but that's the Viper out of the picture. Dapper's down, and again, the defenders are coming back with more. Brock here. It's thrash time. There's a player on A short. He knows that now for a fact, and there's one inside U-Haul. Scuba's in trouble. A double face is possible here. Odashima does what needs to be done. It's just Scuba in the 1 versus 3. Vic leaps and bounds in his direction, and Brock has started the defuse. This could be big for Scuba. He can interrupt this. Brock gets it hard. It will fall. Scuba
in charge.
salvages the round for Oxygen after it all looked to be going wrong all over again.
Incredible clutch. Oh my God, Scuba is so nice. This guy has just been at that level. What you just saw, he's been doing that for years. And for years, people have wondered, why the hell is this guy not on a tier 1 team? Why is he not getting a shot? He just makes magic happen consistently. He has just always been one of the best fragging controllers at this tier of NA play, and it's always felt like he deserved a shot on one of these top teams.
What a way to show your caliber and win potentially the most important round of this game, at least the most important of the half. Giving Oxygen a staging ground to try and mount a comeback here on the attacking side. Redux, okay. Wingman's there. Brock thinks it's just the one. He tries to go for it. And now he's given up U-Haul entirely. That'll be cleared, and we'll have the Wingman plant, post-plant positions to be assumed.
Let's see how they set up this post-plant here in the 5v4. Redux does have that ultimate online. Ooh. Nice little tap from Verno, which will damn near seal the deal.
Yeah, how do you fight into all this util? It's so obnoxious, and it's pretty damn oppressive. First the paint shells. Comes the flash. Redux being forced away from U-Haul here, but that's that molly coming down. Flya flashes towards it. Gonna have to eat some of that molly damage here. Very low on this swing towards A short, but Marta's gonna be there. A double face. MXS at least having a crack at this. Verno's just gonna wait for the contact from Mitch, and no, instead MXS pull the plug. They know it's done. Another one for Oxygen. After the heroics of Scuba, they're able to string a couple together, make this much more respectable.
There's so many small moments that continue to sell me on and really respect Redux and Verno. There are a lot of young, great players out there that are flashy, they're hitting crazy shots, and you can see potential in that way. But it's small moments like that from Redux that, in my mind, set him apart from other players of that same trajectory. Just heads up, using the satchels, just delaying, not taking the fights, not trying to get a flash in there so he can swing. He's just going to delay. They're in an advantage situation. He's not kill hungry. He's just making the percentage logical play. And I see that from him and Verno really, really consistently, to the point where it's just a dedicated pattern. And that is what sets apart these young star players that are going to make it from the ones who, you know, have all the talent, have all the skill, and are still trying to crack into that top echelon. It's just one of the many reasons why these two guys, they just clearly have it.
What a combo. What a couple of rounds here to pick up. Thrash up again for Verno. Yeah, we're seeing multiple uses from those on many of these rounds, even for attackers. So how do they look to play around this? Pings to be here. It's a free way to clear hookah, scale in behind it, pick it back up, and go again after in the post plant. They're going to open with the flash, see nothing.
Oh yeah! Monster on the
Gonna use that dog to clear up long. Thrash is clear through Hookah. And now they just have to worry about the site. The Thrash is getting in there, as is Redux. Double satcheling through. The space is claimed. Look at this Viper's pit, though, coming up on the defensive side to try and scale into this quickly.
They still have to swing that. Mitch watching it, but we'll have to aim correct at some point. Love that Dizzy. Straight towards holes, and a combo is good. Redux on the reduction game plan. Knocking MXS down by 2. To make it even here in the post plant. The Viper Spit's still active, though. At some point, Otoshima has to go for this. You have to swing it. Oh, that Thrash is found 2. He's eaten today. Scuba, though, down to 1. It's going to be Vic able to swing that and find the kill. Otoshima and Mata have got to go for it now. The double face, but the Viper pit is down. Inverno holds it. What a come up, just as you want to mention him, Wyatt. Another delivery from the young star.
Absolute class from that duo yet again. But just a comprehensive site take from Oxygen, right? Dog to clear up all of long. Thrash clears out all of Hookah. Gets a little bit of info on the site. Allows Redux opportunity to satchel in there. And from there, though, it's the second layer that is the most crucial. After they take the site, it's that flash from Mitch that comes through into elbow. Redux saving his ultimate for that moment, not using it on the initial site exec. So nice.
Oh, buddy. Oxygen are back in this. What? What's that? The audacity of Flya to quick scope straight down B long and find a freebie. Vic also gets his. Open up the sky. Oxygen are crippled. They are reeling after that. And it gets worse. Orbital strike. Shredding the health away from Mitch. Napa fancies to hang around a little bit, but I think, yeah, Oxygen are very much disincentivized by lingering on the B side of the map now.
Defenders crossing back from that orbital strike as well.
Downward.
Nice little kill from Mitch is going to allow entry into this A site. You are joking. Listen, there's a lot of things that Mitch offers to the team. Usually you're not thinking entries and firepower at the top of the list, respectfully, but in moments like that, god damn, that is nice. Somehow pulling his team back into this, almost going for third because he's just feeling it like that.
Rock is getting timing so bad on this side the last few rounds. It's been rough to watch. But the defenders do have a player advantage here, and that post-plant utility is almost non-existent. The Snapper and 1 Snakebite. Flya. Any other day you have those. He doesn't have to do the work, just posture aggressively and let Vic and Otoshima clean up. MXS take a respectable 7 rounds away from the half, just as Oxygen started to really get a sniff of it. Very back and forth game. What a way to cap off this series between these two teams, Wyatt, that know each other so well.
So well. The 6th time that these teams have played from the off-season till now. Up until this point, 4-1 in match wins to Oxygen. And every single series has gone to 3 maps. Not one of them has been a 2-0. It is absolutely wild. These teams are just neck and neck, but it's always Oxygen that majority of the time that just get over the finish line. More Shopify with this new roster trying to put an end to that, and that is just ridiculous. That little quick scope at the very end. Oxygen are stacked up 4 on A here.
Yep, very much playing into the Gecko game plan as Oxygen know what's coming. Marto, nice little translation there with the blast pack, but it gets caught out by the off angle of Mitch. Flash here from the sky, forcing Vic off of A short, and Oxygen really struggling. At least they doggedly defend that A short. Come out with the player advantage, though. And Mitch is going to be waiting for this. He'll be able to trade this comfortably. They'll wait for Flya, and they'll nap him as the smoke drops.
Things going to reset now. I say that, and that's a damn lie. They're just going to send that wingman into plant.
False.
Straight away. Brock, the only man with some HP, has got a ghost. Listen, I do believe in Brock in a situation like this. All right, maybe not in a situation where he's getting mollied in the corner as well. That's tough.
What a pistol, Wyatt!
They've done it. Surely they win after they get the pistol win, right? Unless this is some kind of curse that's been activated by the fact they've finally won a pistol in this series. But
God, that would be rough. Again, they fight pretty doggedly for that A short control. There's no shortage of util they expend on it. MXS kind of just stack two players on top of Truck, right? They get Marta in position to receive. Oxygen just push down there. They even throw a defensive wingman at it. Whatever it takes to try and get an edge there and make it hard for that free, quote unquote, wingman plant. They invest.
Out of charges.
Scuba gonna get launched up into the cheeky corner spot. Redux gonna take a peek with the Marshal, try and get one kill, and then just run his way out of there. Bait for Scuba's position, but the actual hit is just gonna be running it down A short. Oh my god.
Enemy remaining.
That is great. You love to see the 2 kills with the Outlaw with the 1. Oh my god, Mitch, what the hell are you doing?
He just needs to pick me up, you know what I mean? A little bit of a rough first half. Get something to get him going, you know?
Jesus Christ, that gave me a jump scare.
Oh man. Yeah, the Outlaw doing what it was designed to do. Just as Rito intended.
I mean, hey, listen, good thing in their minds, they're glad they got those classics, didn't buy anything up, even though they didn't take the Outlaw into the next round anyway. They took the Judge, but, you know, you feel good about that at least.
All right. Good start here for Oxygen.
Toxins going up.
This time more distributed across the map, but still 2 players wanting to fight for showers. Might see a sky flash here. That's maybe partially what the smoke is designed for, to deny info from that. Again, give Scuba a chance to play a bit more forward here with the Bulldog. Yeah, Lassie inbound and outbound quickly. Pre-smoked.
And in the meantime, more Shopify gonna try and work B long where Mitch is just jump spotting. Sent that early flash and gets the info now. Just gonna force that orb to come up from Dapper, expend a bit of that Viper energy, and when that goes down, they're gonna actually work their way up long to go for this hit.
With for Octagon knows. Oh no, okay. On that left-hand side cubby. We're gonna contact this one. Straight through the wall we go. Wingman though doesn't quite get there. And MXS have to back up. The firepower at least to deliver on the threat of that push.
30 seconds left.
Mana blinded briefly, and Vic now starting to edge around that corner. They tried to deny that position with the snake bites at the start, and that's a mosh pit over towards CT. It's all up to Verno now. There's MXS finally come alive on this attack.
Spike planted.
Well done. Once they get into the site, they slow things down nicely. Don't overplay their hand. They allow the Oxygen retakers to get towards the site, take peeks of their own, and get punished. Good round here for Moist Shopify. Bruno wants to see if he can just catch one player in that corner, find a quick kill, do some economic damage before slipping out of there with the Vandal. But it won't happen. But that is no serious worry for him. Vandal saved, and they have a hell of a lot of money for the next round.
Yeah, happy enough with that. Easy buy back in. MXS, though, don't lose too much on that. You gotta be pleased after losing the pistol. Your first buy, only dropping 1 gun. Thrash also available here for Brock. Something well worth keeping your eyes peeled for into the next round here is... Again, we see what Oxygen did in the second half of Split. They did it in the second half of Lotus as well. They really start to gain control of the game. You gotta shut them out.
Brock does have that Thrash online early into a half here. That could be the key to winning a pivotal round. And it looks like they want to go for just a big short play right now. Maybe a late watch on Shower. Shower is going to be taking control. Looks like Oxygen rather want to take control of Shower as well, which is going to be a crucial position for this hit coming in.
It's all you, Mosh. Oh yeah,
Loving these
monster on the loose.
nerdy mollies. Look at this. Ha! Denied triple. Love to see that. Look at this. Straight into the back of the side we go. Mada, a beeline. Punches a hole straight through Mitch, and now gets to post up in U-Haul. Talk about fighting for backside. We've not seen a better example of it this match so far.
And if you look at the utility as well, Vic, he has that molly ready. He's in position to throw it late. Thrash gonna come in, which is just, if not get any tags, the delay from this is just so obnoxious for Oxygen to have to retake into.
Oh, cool. Great reaction there to clear that dizzy off. Dapper's going to struggle, but it's going to be a trade at the very least. Flya was there, though. Where's the action going to come from now? Scuba and Verno realize they're committed, would love to slip away.
Look at Vic.
and maintain these weapons. Oh, he's going to catch him. God, say it ain't so. Verno with 35 HP. This is about to be a disaster.
One enemy remaining.
But Verno thinks better of it. Scoop is down. Well, damn if you do, damn if you don't, Verno. You're giving up that gun either way.
I love that pressure from Shopify at the very end just to try and crack the economy, which is exactly what they do. Crossing their T's and dotting their I's there after what was just a fantastic site exec. I mean, that round from second one to the final second was essentially pitch perfect. That site hit was immaculate. Mata getting that deep space, finding the kill onto Mitch, who was on the run from the Thrash, cycling the Thrash for delay. Everything there was just spot on. Oxygen, they want to go for an aggressive A short push here on this bad buy to try and even things up.
All up A short. Otoshima won't be able to smell this out in time, and it gets absolutely wrecked. Not even a trade at best. Not a great start, and that will be a gun picked up by Verno. Bit of light armor as well on the side of Oxygen, so they're not completely skint. And MXS no closer to figuring out their win condition this round now as, again, a re-clear of A short. Care of the boom bot, and Redux has a sixth sense about this. Here he comes, Mata. Finds two! What? He already sees one! Verno's able to trade it back at the very least, but now we're in a 3 versus 3. Spike is headed over. It's Wingman doing the honors here.
Spike planted.
Oxygen with some weapons to work with, though, at the very least. That is beautiful. Verno delivers another one. First shutting down the ulting raise. Now Flya's out of the picture. There's still the post plant to worry about. There's still the brim set up here towards Showers, and Vic wins that fight out. Brock's going to be there, gets a lot of damage down at least. Forces Verno back, but a double face is going to put the pressure on the Gecko, and now it's up to Vic. It's a molly. Maybe even a little early. Dapper thinks about giving it a tickle now, has to wait it out. No, the timing's actually great. Vic may see a double face here. But in fact, Oxygen... Yeah, they're split up. Verno, that's beautiful stuff. They're going to have this. Great job by Oxygen to overcome that. A terrible start to the round for them.
Thrifty.
And Mata gets two with the ultimate, which is that. It's crazy that they recovered from that moment, but they do. I mean, it comes down to Verno individually showing his prowess, yet again topping the board for Oxygen, but gets the trade on Mata, and then crucially, that little jiggle into lamps to find that kill, and the 3-on-3 was just so clean. I like the decision, though, also to just go for an aggressive play to begin the round off from Oxygen. Something different. You got to throw something new into the mix to catch off MXS at this point.
It feels so free as well. Back up behind that Viper wall. As soon as that drops, it's not even a trade. Verno able to trade at least that kill onto Mata. That was quite crucial. Him finding a double rocket there is something you can't always count on. And then Vic winning in Showers means that there's still the threat of that post plant util, right? But it doesn't come at the right time. Ultimately, it maybe was a little bit too early, but he was going to struggle to win out there. Great round by Verno. My God, this has been an absolute showing now as Oxygen have finally started to cobble a few key rounds back.
I'd like to continue to see some of that pressure on A, not necessarily towards short, but on a lot of these rounds, they've just been giving up shower in almost its entirety, which had, bit them in the behind, especially on that round where they went for the Thrash execute. That was 2 rounds ago or so. I want to see them focus a little bit more on control there, as it would help when the hit comes down on short, but this round for Oxygen, crucial element is that they've got 4 ultimates to play with. You can go for a big retake if necessary.
Mata cheating his way down A short. Poison Orb blooms, and he is in there. My God, he's getting so much space for absolutely free. Again, the potential to leave him embedded here until he unearths something. Absolutely on the table. Are Oxygen going to re-clear this to any degree? Have to think so.
It seems like Oxygen missed a timing window where they don't think Mata could have crossed because neither player is picking this up at all. They're just so unaware. Somehow Mata found the perfect timing.
That is absolutely absurd.
That is ridiculous. You could see seconds before that, neither player was paying any mind to lamps. They just clearly missed a window there.
One enemy remaining.
Verno falls here, and Vic's already on the wraparound. Things are going from bad to worse now for Oxygen. It's just Mitch. And he's got nothing, not a thing to do.
Oh, it must have been just but a second that those two A-site anchors' eyes were averted away from short. that they didn't think it was possible someone could have made that walk up, and Mata just hit that timing to an absolute perfection. Just lots to see him an absolutely free round. Mitch on the run, money dire for Oxygen.
It's weird. Money is weird. Mitch at least going to be able to maintain this weapon in the next round, but MXS starting really starting to pick up speed here, and they're loving it. Their economy is absolutely rock solid. For the defenders, though, Spectre mixed in here. Okay, Stinger instead, Guardian. They got some ultimates to work with, and they can deny that wingman plant, so perhaps they don't fight as aggressively for race short here. Maybe they can afford to try and play to some of these weapons, but it's dire.
Yeah, we could see the Brimstone drop a tactical nuke on the poor little wingman if he's planting.
Hydrogen bomb coughing baby level.
It wouldn't be the first time we've seen that tragic imagery. You always hate to see that one happen.
You get desensitized. You don't see it enough times, man. Nothing phases you.
For more?
And we see that double clear from the dog and Thrash, which we saw on the first half. This time, though, there's not going to be an execute off of the back of it. It's just going to be all of that noise and pressure put, the space taken into this big A execute.
Thrash makes his second appearance. Oh, really? Orbital strike here. Okay. Scuba actually goes for it now. Hoping to find something. Redux does at least get rid of Vic. Really thought he'd wait on that a little bit, but MXS have not been shifted from A short, and they're actually waiting on the angle. Verno full Scuba tries to take a timing, but Flya is waiting for him. MXS is backside comfortably. The Dizzy got him in there easy. Now he'll have to take a double face. Falls to the Guardian of Redux. There might be something here for Oxygen. Showstopper available. Paint shells are going to be there as well, and Redux is going for it. Here's the wind-up. Oh my goodness. Brock going to send him packing. Bad to worse again for Oxygen.
Enemy remaining.
Flya has the off angle and Dapper capitulates. It's just Mitch now with it all to do. Good for one. But that post plant setup is in play. Mosh pit surely. Poison orb as well. Everything to fight through, and Mitch can't see a target. It's another sad save for the Sky.
Things were looking so good for Oxygen, man, but it crumbled in that 5 seconds post Redux getting that kill where things slowed down. You could just see the Oxygen side getting antsy, but really for no reason. There were Seekers popped from Mitch that were going all the way behind in market that were about to crunch the Moist Shopify players who were stuck in short, and they just got overly eager and were facing some angles fighting when they didn't really need to. I think they could have played that just a tad bit more passively and let Moist Shopify actually have to get into the site there before facing. At the very least, though, they've got a decent enough buy in this round, and they've gone for this aggressive shower control, which I very much like to see.
Oxygen here. Despite that aggressive posturing, the smoke obscures a lot of what Scuba would otherwise have seen, but he needs to get in a good spot to make value out of the Stinger. He's going to have absolutely nothing, though, as it's a big group up towards B by MXS. And here's that hookah clear, customary now. DC's going to send him onto the side. They'll probably just ignore this wall and go for it. Yep, here it comes. Orbital strike. Dapper! Get him out! He escapes somehow. Brock going to remain inside hookah here, but Flya looking for that left side swing. Poison orb up. Here comes that util, but Flya doesn't quite find Mitch. Traded by Vic, sitting in Octagon, who finds a second. That is big. MXS not fully committed to beat here. They can sit back, let Wingman do all the work, and Marta's good for 2. And it's just Scuba, so far away from the action. MXS are asking all the right questions, and Oxygen don't even know what subject it is.
The flank from Mata pushing all the way through elbow during that hit. So nice, the timing on that he finds. But the utility that came down on site was just a tsunami. Those players that had to huddle into the container, try and, let that giant wave pass. There was no waiting it out. They were forced out into the open, crunched into the corner. I mean, speaking of crunched,
forget about it.
My man Scuba is getting hunted down by everybody. It's a wrap. It was such a good exec for Moist Shopify.
What a brutal second half we've seen here. MXS stringing them together, 2 and then 3. Despite uncharacteristically, it seems, losing the pistol. 1 out of 6. Oh, you take that. And now,
It's
of
the
course, money
curse.
for Oxygen is just, it's horrendous. Not a lot to write home about. No big ultimates online. Yes, they got a full cohort of util. That's it.
It's the pistol curse, I told you. They finally win one, and look at what happens.
Okay.
Spike down A.
Verno in trouble. Eventually brought down with great little aggressive pop again. That's where Oxygen have been finding success so far. Marta and Flya both fall, and Vic might have to satisfy himself with an exit or so in the 1 versus 4. There's a lot to do.
Oxygen throwing in that little mix of aggression again. I mean, frankly, 2 of the best rounds they've had now on defense are the ones where they were proactive, going for this TP crunch. The other round where they pushed down short, that's where they found success.
Molly.
These rounds where they're allowing Moist Shopify to take that space too easily, get a giant execute in. We've seen just how potent these executes are for Moist Shopify. They can't be allowed to set up in the way that they have on all these previous rounds for them.
Vic basically max money at the start of this round, so not bothered about this one going awry. When it looked like Oxygen have tried to take too much map control in order to wrest the gun away from him, they
30
probably realized
seconds
the risk is not worth the reward. Juice not worth the squeeze here with just how little money Oxygen themselves have. So we can enjoy a nice 20-second stalemate.
Vic, you know, maybe he'll hunt a little bit. Wouldn't hurt to do some economic damage, though.
10 seconds
You know.
left.
He can
At
afford
this
to.
juncture, you can just live so his team has more time to discuss what they want to do next round, you know?
Well, they probably want to
Just
talk about
slow things down.
these aggressive pops, right, from Oxygen. See if there's like a protocol adjustment in the early rounds. They might inoculate themselves from just randomly
in range
having
of my
sort of
stim
two or
beacon. We'll mow
two
them
or so
down.
players picked off without being able to trade it adequately. They have, that showstopper is online. Verno close to a thrash though, so if they can play for an orb, I mean, seems like a big risk, right? Trying to, pop into showers and take control of that. So we'll see if that dictates Oxygen's defensive setup at all.
Yeah, and we'll see if Moist Shopify slow down at all here. Try and bait out the aggression if there is some to be baited out, from a safe kind of distance. Let Oxygen expose their plans and then go back in, retake that space when it's actually safe. They're gonna pop aggressively into showers with the Seekers and the Dizzy. Oh my god, what a combo, what a rocket from Mata. That is a picture-perfect team play. Oh my god, that is disgusting. Verno backside now with it all to do. Mitch is trying to post up as well. Wingman is gonna go down with a spike.
Mata doesn't see that. But again, they have a pretty decent buffer in this round, and now Flya is free to clean it on up. Only light armor here for Dapper. And he'll have to make his way out from vents, of which already at Mosh Pit has made it a harder trip. Crispy stuff. Dapper doubling his kills, I think, for the entire map with that singular kill. But you have 18 HP. You're trying to keep your team in the series, let alone the map. You're dead. Doesn't get tickled at least by the molly. That's a good start. But MXS have been mixing it up so varied, so hard to keep under the thumb. Dapper has to go wild, tripling his frags. Now for the map. Rourke with a shoulder pick now. He knows that Dapper's not on the spike. Dapper's here to salvage, save some face perhaps. The double face is going to be enough. And Odashima, the newest addition for MXS, cleans it up. And they have finally broken the trend of their struggles against Oxygen Esports. A 2-1 victory for the series.
Listen, it's only right that Goderus finishes the map off with the kill. It's only right. That was the big story coming into this game. People were confused at this roster change, bringing him in after the Ludwig Tarek Invitational with only about, a little over a month until Challengers started. After playing with Thief for so long, Odorous was their coach. He hadn't played in a serious match in a year. And here he is playing really well, especially that first map. He was going crazy. And after that, he just consistently was having those impact moments that you want. And he had them in spades. An impressive debut. And of course, more impressive than just him is the fact that with him, the team was able to finally overcome Oxygen, their sixth time facing off in however many months of the offseason. And they have finally, you know, begun to even up the score a little bit. Now it's 4-2 for Oxygen in matches.
I mean, that's it. Sierra couldn't have asked for a better way to start off Challengers now with a rewriting of history. The script now gets flipped and it's MXS, the top dog out of the gates.
6 times the charm, right? That's hey, they beat him when it matters most too, right? I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be the last time they face off within Challengers, but being able to start the season off right when there's so much to be playing for with just Challengers in general, great looks coming out from, I've got to say, both of the teams. This was honestly such a treat of a series through and through. I feel like we had so many questions heading into this series all, Uber, and I feel like I actually got quite a lot of them answered. We got to see Odorous, we got to see how he's slotting in, we got to see Dapper how he's doing, we got to see these teams step up, how they're bouncing back and forth. This was a really full series.
Yeah, look, not the most flattering last map for Dapper there, but he obviously had his moments. And, you know, we saw in the break, right, we got to interview, you know, Oxygen, sort of what he brings to the team, a lot of those intangibles as well. But I do think they're probably hoping that he can, you know, find more than one frag in sort of regulation time. It's just a little bit of a tough one for him constantly. Quite a few timing moments. Also, Brook suffering that same kind of curse here. But on moments where we got to see MXS properly scale into the back of that A site, they found a lot of value. I will say, some of the defensive retakes from both sides have been really good, especially on A, having to work with like no info, having like come to flash and double face through like Viper walls and all these brim smokes. Really impressive both teams' protocols here. It was quite a grind, but Oxygen couldn't quite pick up in the second half like they had over the course of the rest of the series.
It's tough getting past Mata, honestly, because it was called out that how that that hold, that take at that back A, that would just be so instrumental to the series. And Mata was a beast, Wyatt. Honestly, I can't just forget Lotus. Lotus never happened. Mata was just alive the last 2 maps, especially there on Bind, which was just so nice.
Yeah, found his confidence on Split for sure. After Lotus was tough, and then Split was just immaculate out the gate. I think he started Split and Bind. He had a crazy start on both. It was like 8-2 at some point on Split. Yeah, and then on Bind like 11-2 or something along those lines, where both were just really hot starts. And once you're feeling that as a duelist, like you can really carry that momentum through the rest of the game, continuing to play with the level of confidence that you need as a team, your duelists to be playing with as well, frankly, to make everything work. But overall, truly, that was a great series from both teams. Both showed a lot of promise. And, you know, to the Dapper point on the last map, I mean, that's just clearly like an outlier map for him. You know, that's like if you go back and look at the last 50, like that is just an outlier map from him. So it's really not anything that I would take too seriously, to be honest.
We said the same of Mata right after Lotus. Like, I don't think at any point that really shook our belief in, you know, him being able to have a big impact on the series in the coming maps, and he did exactly that. So what we see a lot from individual players, yeah, having an off map here and there, especially when you got a player like Vic on your team, you're allowed to do that. You have 4 other people that can step in and have impact where you might struggle to on occasion.
And we'll get to see so much more from all these players down the line. That series is, of course, done, but we still have a little bit more, as we will have an interview with Flya after this post-series highlight, so don't go far.
One enemy. Remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. enemy.
Success.
One enemy remaining.
Blinding.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike planted.
Effect.
Attacker.
They say in life, there are no guarantees. They say a lot of stuff like that. Slow it down. Play it safe. Hedge your bets. So what? You gonna listen to that? You gonna stop because they can't guarantee you'll pull this off? No guarantee you'll win? No guarantee everything's gonna be fine? In life, you make your own guarantees. Nobody else will light your way. Start your own fire and keep it burning. And we guarantee you'll have one hell of a lifetime.
fantastic series coming out. Oxygen Esports going up against Moist Shopify. They've met many a times in the off-season, but finally it was Moist Shopify's time to shine, taking the 2-1 win and getting their Challenger season off to a fantastic start. And to chat a little bit more about it, I have IGL Flya on the line. Honestly, fantastic game overall. You've played them. This is now the 6th time you've gone up against Oxygen Esports. This is the first time getting the round win when it really counts. What was the difference this time around?
Wait, can you hear me? Hello? We're good?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Sorry, can you ask the question again? I didn't hear you last time, so go ahead.
You're all good. You're all good. This is the 6th time that you faced off against Oxygen Esports. Always been close matches, but this is the first time MXS getting that win. What was different this time around?
Well, throughout the offseason, we were not good at, I'd say, a couple maps, and, you know, we just had time to get better at maps. I mean, we have a way bigger pool now, so we can match them up like, very well, and obviously maps they're comfortable on. And they also, playing against them, they've played the same past 3 months now, it seems, because this match and the one we played in January was the exact same in the way they play. So, I think we just been practicing harder or more.
Just leveling up, just building out things as well. There was a change coming to the squad as well. We saw Odorous joining the squad here, which is a move that I don't think we really expected. So I'd love to hear the thoughts on this roster change heading into Challengers.
It's more so like internal team stuff, but with Chad, him coming in, the strength's getting him. He's extremely good at calming. He took over my old role of being like the main lurker, which I think is good for me in terms of being with the pack and calling. And he has a lot of upside to, you know, being on our team. And he also frags out, like you could just see, like everyone's been hating on him, but he just played insane. Yeah.
Who was that in the background? I have to know.
That was Mata.
Oh goodness. I mean, Mata definitely posted about Odorous and got shot up in that first map, but I have to say there was a couple pieces on the team. You're talking about, though, that Odorous kind of taking your old role of lurking. I know, though, as well, you were tweeting about the fact that, hey, you've always seen eye to eye with Chad in this coach role, that he's really impressed you just with his playing and stuff. I would love to know, too, with him now joining the squad with you IGLing, do you share that role at all? Is it all you? Does he do some mid-rounding?
I'd say it's mostly me. I think everyone on our team has a really good voice of just like when it needs to be said, they know how to make a call and speak for themselves and like play with their team. But most of like almost 95% of the overarching things that we do are my calls. But like I said, like if someone has their ult or we're going to a retake and someone's in a better spot than I am and we have util, like big thing, like everyone knows how to do it. But I'm still like the main IGL, yeah.
Okay, and I'll talk a little bit about Mata too, because we got to see the first map wasn't necessarily too great for Mata, but the next 2 maps absolutely unlocked. So how does the squad do you help enable your duelist to be able to pop off like that?
Well, I'd say most of it is him. He's the best duelist in Challengers, hands down. Like no other person is in contention for that spot at all. And I think we're just good at supporting him. I think me and Brock are great initiators on most maps. We're good at, you know, making people stun, flash, everything, but he does all of it. All the entering, pathing, his own ult plays, he makes everything for himself. So I think he's extremely self-sufficient, really good attitude. He's just, like I said, like best player I've played with, so it's all him.
Wow. That is some high praise. Best duelist in Challengers, and your team lucky enough to have him. How do you feel like MXS's chances are just in Challengers this season? Because there is some really talented teams out there. You have M80 and TSM on the horizon too.
Oh yeah, everyone in Challengers is good. This Challengers is going to have way more talent and teams that can actually like show up than last Challengers, but we fare up, you know, just as good as anybody else. I think we have an insanely good chance at ascending. So I think, like I said, though, I think pretty much every other team that's here is good. So it's going to be way harder than last season was.
Well, it's definitely exciting to watch. That series was absolutely amazing. Flya, thank you so much for chatting with me. Enjoy the rest of the night with your team, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. As for us, that was just our first series of the day, first series of Challengers, and it was an absolute banger. And of course, more on the horizon. We're going to have SAD Esports and Winthrop University after this break.